Hello and welcome to CVR News Network. You're watching CVR English and welcome to World 360 and I'm Sandeep. A tragic head-on collision occurred early this morning on the East-West Highway near Tasik Banding in Perak, Malaysia, involving a shattered bus from Sultan Idris Education University and Perodua Alza multipurpose vehicle. The bus carrying students returning to campus reportedly rear-ended the MPV, causing both to veer off the road. The bus overturned and the MPV slid into a ditch. Tragically, 13 passengers died on the spot and 2 more succumbed to hospital, bringing the death toll to 15. An additional 31 to 33 individuals were injured, with several in critical condition. Anti-ICE protesters blocked the 101 freeway in downtown Los Angeles, stopping traffic in both directions as demonstrations ended their third day. The California National Guard arrived to help control escalating tensions over President Trump's immigration raids. Clashes broke out between protesters and police, while the governor challenged the guards' deployment as unlawful. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass slammed the Trump administration over sweeping immigration raids that led to mass protests across Los Angeles. Speaking on Sunday, Bass called the raids a dangerous escalation that tore families apart and deployed armored federal vehicles in city streets. Protests erupted across Los Angeles, with demonstrators blocking freeways and clashing with police as Trump signed an order sending in the National Guard. Bass urged protesters to remain peaceful and warned against falling into manufactured chaos.
This is about another agenda. It's not about public safety. There's clearly no plan, and there is clearly no policy. You know what? Thanks for asking me that, because... Hello, everybody ready? Good afternoon, everyone. What we're seeing in LA is chaos.
US President Donald Trump threatened tough action against demonstrators protesting immigration raids in Los Angeles, stating they spit we hit, though he cited no specific incidents. Speaking from New Jersey, Trump labeled the protest riots and vowed strong enforcement if national security is threatened. Hours earlier, California National Guard troops deployed by Trump clashed with the protesters outside a federal building in downtown Los Angeles. Video footage shows troops and DHS personnel pushing back demonstrators chanting ICE out of LA as tensions escalated over the third day of protests sparked by Friday's immigration raids.
Will be very, very strong in terms of law and order. Price of one. Yeah. We have Marco. And I said, come on, let's go see the fake news and enjoy ourselves. Get a couple of nice questions. How are you? Who would like to ask a question?
Mr. President, on California, are you prepared to invoke the Insurrection Act?
Depends on whether or not there's an insurrection.
There is, sir?
No, but you have violent people, and we're not going to let them get away with it.
Even if you don't plan to invoke the Insurrection Act, do you plan to send troops to Los Angeles?
What?
Even if you're not planning to invoke the Insurrection Act, do you still plan to send troops?
Well, we're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. We're not going to let our country be torn apart like it was under Biden.
What is the bar for sending Marines to
The bar is what I think it is. I mean, if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order.
Sending active Marines on the table, sir. Secretary Heck
We're going to see what we need. We'll send whatever we need to make sure there's law and order.
Mr. President, do you foresee those protests spreading to other cities, Chicago, New York, for example, in the next few days?
Yes, we're going to be watching it very closely. And when they spit at people, you know, they spit. That's their new thing. They spit, and worse, you know what they throw at them, right? And when that happens, I have a little statement. They say, they spit, we hit. And I told them, nobody's going to spit on our police officers. Nobody's going to spit on our military.
Hearing the California officials could face federal charges if they stand in the way of the deportation, something that only may have suggested.
If they stand in the way of law and order, yeah, they will face charges. Thank you very much.
A 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck central Colombia early Sunday. Authorities said a major earthquake struck central Colombia at 8:08 a.m. local time near Parate Buno, registering 6.3 with shallow depth of 9 to 10 kilometers, according to USGS Colombian Geology Service. The tremor rattled buildings in Bogota, Medellin and Cali, forcing residents into streets and parks as sirens sounded. Despite its strength, no fatalities have been reported, though over 25 people sustained minor to moderate injuries and dozens of homes and churches were damaged around Parate Buno and nearby towns.
Los departamentos que han sido afectados por este evento son Cundinamarca, Meta y Caldas. El reporte preliminar número 2 nos da, pues, en Cundinamarca, en Paratebueno, una afectación en la vía nacional. Este fue el epicentro y es el lugar donde se presentan en este momento mayores reportes de afectaciones. En la inspección Santa Cecilia, vereda La Europa, así como en Medina hay afectación en la iglesia principal, caída de muros, y al momento en ese municipio se reportan 2 personas heridas. Se han generado afectaciones en muros y en fachadas de las iglesias, viviendas y posiblemente afectaciones en puentes. En Fomeque se registra, está por verificarse una afectación en un centro de salud.
Israeli forces uncovered a Hamas tunnel beneath the European hospital in Khan Yunis, revealing a concealed hideout reportedly used by senior Hamas operatives, including Mohammed Sinwar. The discovery highlights concerns over the militant group use of civilian infrastructure, such as hospitals, to shield its operations. Footage released by IDF shows a complex underground structure, further fueling international debate about the conduct of the warfare in Gaza. Israeli officials condemned the tactic as a violation of humanitarian norms, while Hamas has not commented on the claim. Colombian senator and presidential hopeful Miguel Uribe, 39, was shot during a campaign event in the Fontibon district of Bogota. A 15-year-old suspect was arrested carrying a Glock-type pistol. Uribe sustained wounds to the head and thigh and underwent neurosurgery plus vascular treatment at Fundación Santa Fe Hospital. His wife, Maria Claudia Tarazona, said he survived initial surgery and remains in critical but stable intensive care. The government offered 3 billion peso, which is equivalent to 728,000 US dollars reward for information, and President Petro has pledged a transparent investigation.
Porque son muchas las personas que no pueden trabajar o estudiar porque tienen que cuidar a un familiar. Entonces tenemos que trabajar en eso, primer punto. Segundo, vamos a trabajar en la política pública de discapacidad para poder trabajar para que todas las personas en situación de discapacidad reciban la salud que corresponde, pero ojo, no todas las discapacidades son iguales ni limitantes. Así que lo que tenemos es que promover que quien pueda trabajar lo haga en el marco de la discapacidad que tiene. Segundo, salud mental. El principal problema en Bogotá y Colombia.
Silencio, por favor, señores. Gracias.
Quiero darles las gracias a todas las personas que se han unido para orar por la vida de Miguel. Quiero darle las gracias a cada uno de los colombianos que ha sido solidario conmigo, con mis hijos y con mi familia. Miguel sigue luchando fuertemente por su vida y les pido a cada uno de ustedes que sigamos en oración fuerte, que no desfallezcamos y que estemos unidos en oración. Gracias.
Bendito es el fruto de tu vientre, Jesús. Santa María, Madre de Dios, el bien.
Silencio, por favor, señores. Gracias.
Quiero darles las gracias a todas las personas que...
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky reaffirmed Ukrainians' commitment to prisoner exchanges with Russia, condemning Moscow's delay in releasing a confirmed list of captives as agreed in Turkey-mediated talks. In his nightly address, Zelensky accused Russia of playing dirty political and information games, undermining humanitarian agreements. He also urged citizens to stay alert to air raid warnings following intense Russian aerial attacks. The comments came after Russian officials claimed Kiev had indefinitely postponed the latest swap, a claim Ukrainian officials deny. Zelensky also implied that Moscow's unreliability casts doubt on broader international peace efforts.
I spoke today and yesterday with Defense Minister Umarov, with the head of the HUR Budanov, the head of the SBU Malyuk. Ukraine continues to do everything possible so that the release of our prisoners of war and the repatriation of the bodies of our Ukrainian fallen takes place. Full lists from Russia about which we agreed in Istanbul are still not being handed over to us. So the Russian side, in their usual manner, even as these matters, is trying to play some kind of dirty political and information game. The important thing is to get a result. The important thing is for people to return home. We hope the prisoner...
French President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady Brigitte Macron hosted a grand state dinner at Elysee Palace, drawing world leaders and dignitaries for a night of refined diplomacy. Red carpet arrivals, ceremonial welcomes, and French culinary excellence set the tone for the evening. The exclusive affair offered as a glimpse into the French soft power strategy, reinforcing its role on the global stage. Discussions reportedly touched on multilateral cooperation, global security, cultural exchange. The event underscored France's commitment to high-level diplomacy through elegance and tradition.
Le premier de Côte d'Ivoire, l'autre côté. C'est Côte d'Ivoire? Ouais. Yeah, that was
Prince William made an impassioned plea for urgent global action to safeguard the world's oceans during a speech at Blue Economy and Finance Forum in Monaco. Speaking before a gathering of policymakers, scientists, and environmental leaders, the Prince emphasized the critical role oceans play in sustaining life and mitigating climate change. He urged international cooperation and stronger investment in marine conservation, warning that delays could lead to irreversible damage. The forum focused on sustainable economic models and financing tools aimed at preserving ocean ecosystems amid growing environmental threats.
An ambitious global commitment to protect 30% of land and sea by 2030. It is our best chance of reversing the damage done to our planet and restoring its well-being. But the clock is ticking. 2030 is fast approaching, and only 17% of land and just 3% of the ocean has been fully protected. If we are to reach our goal, we urgently need to take bold action to protect and restore our planet. The need to act to protect our ocean is now in full view. As ever, Sir David leaves us with a sense of optimism that all is not lost. He believes change is possible. Put simply, the ocean is under enormous threat, but it can revive itself. But only if together we act now. Halfway through this decisive decade, I call on all of you to think big in your actions. Let us act together with urgency and optimism while we still have the chance. For the future of our planet, for the future generations, we must listen to the words of Sir David Attenborough. If we save...
In a profound and prophetic homily, Pope Leo XIV emphasized the transformative power of the Holy Spirit to renew the world and heal divided hearts. Addressing the faithful, the Pope called for unity within the Church to advance the mission of Christ in modern times. He highlighted the Spirit's role in inspiring hope, courage, and love amid global challenges, urging believers to embrace the renewal as a path towards the peace and spiritual revival. The message resonated deeply with congregations worldwide.
Dear sisters and brothers, the Creator Spirit, whom we invoked in the hymn Veni Creator Spiritus, is the Spirit who descended upon Jesus as the quiet driving force of his mission. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. We ask the Spirit to enlighten our minds, to multiply our languages, to awaken our senses, to instill love, to strengthen our bodies, and to grant us peace. We become open to God's kingdom. And this is, according to the Gospel, the meaning of conversion. It is a turning toward the kingdom.
Drone footage released by Saudi Press Agency captured thousands of Muslim pilgrims participated in the symbolic devil stoning ritual at the Mina complex. This key rite, part of the annual Hajj pilgrimage, involves casting stones at three pillars representing Satan, symbolizing the rejection of evil. The aerial video showcased the vast crowds observing the solemn tradition with devotion and discipline. Saudi authorities maintained strict safety measures to manage the massive gathering amid ongoing global health concerns. And that's the end of the World 360. Stay tuned to CVR News English.